Today on CTV News at 5, flu and COVID shots now available to the general public in Ontario. What health experts say about this year's respiratory virus season and how to protect yourself. Plus, a concerning new report from Food Banks Canada as the crisis normalizing hunger deepens. And looking to bounce back after getting a split at home, the Toronto Blue Jays are in LA tonight for Game 3 of the World Series. CTV News at 5 starts right now. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for being here with us. As we get into the respiratory virus season, Ontario is ramping up vaccine distribution to combat COVID-19 and the flu. Starting today, the latest vaccines are available to everyone. CTV's Ashley Bacon has been following this and joins us live. Ashley, you spoke with a local pharmacist who says he's actually seen a rise in the number of people coming in to get their shots this year.
That's right, Leanne. The team at Queen's Pharmacies in the region say a number of people have inquired about both getting the vaccines as well as if COVID-19 tests were available. High-risk groups have been available to get the shots for a few weeks, but as of today, they're available to everyone. All residents in the province over the age of 6 months will be able to receive both the flu and COVID-19 vaccines, with peak COVID and flu season hitting around the end of November and into early December. The region says now is the best time to get the vaccines as a preventative measure. Health experts encouraging you to get both shots done at the same time.
Vaccines are completely safe to get at the same time, the flu and COVID. We recommend that's the best way to go, often because people forget to go back. And so then you end up missing one shot or the other.
A few people asking about COVID tests. So I can tell that it's been going around a little bit in the past few weeks. And that's why people are asking about the COVID vaccine a little bit more this season than the past seasons.
Now, of course, the region is also reminding people that washing your hands, covering a sneeze or cough, and staying at home when you're unwell are also important factors in keeping this cold and flu season at bay. Leanne.
Yeah, certainly important to keep top of mind. Ashley, thank you for that. CTV's Ashley Bacon joining us live. Next, 2 fatal collisions in Waterloo region over the weekend. In each case, a pedestrian was killed. We'll bring in CTV's Tony Grace live in studio for a closer look at this and some other stories our team is working on. Tony, good afternoon.
And good afternoon, Leanne. Thank you. The first crash was late Friday night. A 60-year-old woman from Cambridge was hit by a pickup truck and died. The driver was not hurt. Then on Saturday afternoon, a 66-year-old Wilmot man was hit by a motorcycle while walking near Wilmot Center Road. He was taken to a hospital outside the region where he died. The 34-year-old motorcyclist was not hurt.
Concerning when we have pedestrian crashes so close together. I would say that it's obviously our roadways, whether they be rural in the one sense or residential and city in the other, we have multiple types of road users.
Coming up, CTV's Colton Weens has a closer look at the rate of collision fatalities in the region this year. Also tonight, advocates in the LGBTQ+ community urging police to do more to rebuild a sense of safety after the safety alert that police put out last week, which ultimately led to some event cancellations in the community. Police say the threat that led to that safety alert didn't target a certain event or person, but it prompted them to reach out to organizers of 3 separate events. Spectrum Community Space says they wish more could have been done.
So they did the notification part, but in terms of dealing with the repercussions of what that notification meant, even if an incident didn't happen, it still unleashed a lot of fear, rightfully so. And so in terms of dealing with that collective fear and trying to rebuild a sense of community safety, that's what us and other groups on the ground have been trying to do.
Police say they take any threat of potential violence or harm very seriously. CTV's Heather Sederin is looking into this story for us today, and we'll have more in a full report at 6. For now, Leanne, I'll send it back over to you.
Tony, thanks very much. Appreciate that. And Alex is here as we turn to the forecast. Happy Monday, my friend.
Happy Monday.
We're starting off the week on a cool note.
We sure are, especially if you were out early this morning. We were walking the pup. And one thing we noticed, the frost that was out on the grass.
Yes, I think people probably were shocked to see they might have had to scrape their car potentially early this morning if you were up and out and at it.
We're getting back to that time of the year.
Don't love it.
No. And yes, if you have planters, for example, I know we keep talking about it, but cover them up or bring them inside. Right now, though, mainly clear conditions for us and many areas right across southern southwestern Ontario. It is feeling a little cooler out there, though. 8 degrees right now here for Kitchener-Waterloo, 11 if you're in Goderich, 10 if you are in Mount Forest. So many of us still sitting up pretty close to that seasonal mark. 10 degrees was our expected daytime high. We have not hit that at this point. We're going to see what happens in the next hour, but not sure we're actually going to hit that mark or not today. As we take a live look from King Street in uptown Waterloo, we can still get the scooters maybe going out there. We're not seeing any, obviously, snow yet, but, you know, few weeks away.
I think it would be a brisk evening ride on that scooter, though.
Especially with a little bit of that breeze out there, too.
Yeah, very chilly. Okay, we'll take you to break, tell you what you need to know. Bring your carved pumpkin to Rockway Gardens for the Pumpkin Parade. Check out the free event Saturday. Watch the community come alive with light and creativity. Pumpkins will be donated to local farms to help feed plants and animals. Stay with us.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We go to a dramatic scene unfolding.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. CTVKitchener.ca, your home for news.
A $75 million anti-tariff advertising campaign paid for by the Ford government has riled up U.S. President Donald Trump. The ad prompted Trump over the weekend to increase existing tariffs by 10%. And now Trump is saying he has no plans to meet with Prime Minister Mark Carney anytime soon.
High tariffs inevitably lead to retaliation by foreign countries and the triggering of fierce trade wars.
The Ford government TV ad criticizes tariffs with sound from a speech from former U.S. President Ronald Reagan. On Friday, Ford announced he would pause the ad, but not until after it ran during Game 1 and 2 of the World Series. The premier was in the legislature today without any second thoughts.
It was the most successful ad in the history of North America. Not just here, we had over over 1 billion impressions, meaning 1 billion views, and it's still counting.
Ontarians paid for those ads. They paid for those ads, and that's $300 or $400 million of unearned media. Well, Ontarians paid for those. They are going to pay for them with their jobs.
Meanwhile, Trump has ruled out a meeting with Prime Minister Carney this week while the pair are both in Asia. Trump made the comments aboard Air Force One on his way to Japan today. The president angry over the TV ads being run by Ontario, calling out his tariff war on the world. A concerning new report from Food Banks Canada says increased levels of poverty and hunger are becoming normalized in this country. Food bank visits continue to rise across Canada, reaching nearly 2.2 million monthly visits. That's double the number from 2019. Nearly 1 in 5 people who rely on food banks have jobs. That's up from 12% 6 years ago. And 70% of food bank users live in market rent housing. Food Banks Canada is calling for legislative changes to tackle the crisis.
We're looking at benefits to folks who are in the lowest incomes, who are spending almost 100 or over 100% of their monthly income on essentials like rent, like transportation and food.
At 6, CTV's Spencer Turcotte breaks it down more for us at the local level and the effects on Waterloo Region's food banks. The Township of Wilmot says they're looking outside the organization to help build the 2026 budget. Last year, the mayor and council say they were blindsided by a recommended 50% property tax increase. After months of meetings, council shaved the hike down to 18%. This year, the mayor says she is bringing in accounting firm KPMG to build the 2026 budget and help establish more consistent fiscal policies.
The team that we're working with directly has experience already preparing other municipal budgets, and of course they have audit experience, which makes it helpful too.
The mayor says this move comes with no increased cost to the taxpayer because it's funded by staffing vacancies. Still ahead on CTV News at 5, gearing up for Game 3 of the World Series.
I can't wait till we win the World Series. Life is great. Let's go Jays.
Fans are excited as the Jays head to LA to take on the Dodgers tonight. Details on the watch parties in and around Waterloo region just ahead. And here's what you need to know. From a sinister circus to experimenting gone wrong, get into the spooky spirit on Halloween night at the Fergus House of Horrors. Enter a century-old farmhouse filled with your worst fears. Tickets start at $20 and you can grab them online.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400. From your screen to ours. Text 10400.
It is the end of October and it is starting to feel like it out there. We were talking earlier about how we went from such warm temperatures and things cooled off just last week, the end of last week, I think it was. And we didn't really get our warm fall. We went from summer to cold fall.
Really hot to now really chilly, where we're layering and layering. And there wasn't really much of a transition from those conditions too. Yes, so yeah, we went from literally feeling like summer to waking up to frost and, like you said, maybe scraping off the car this morning too.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that we're there. And it always comes as a surprise.
Yeah, even though
it happens.
Even though we shouldn't be.
We shouldn't be.
Yeah, it's end of October. We're getting closer to November now. I think, yes, we're in our literal last week of October this week.
This month flew by.
But beautiful out there. We're seeing some nice blue sky and just a few clouds as we take a look from uptown Waterloo along King Street. A lovely evening to get outside and maybe go for a walk. But yes, you'll want to layer up, maybe grab the scarf. I don't know if that's just me, though. I've definitely started pulling all my options because I run a little bit cooler, which is okay, but not going to be complaining about layering up. But yes, over the next couple days, at least we get to enjoy a little bit more sunshine, and hopefully you get a chance to enjoy some of the sunshine we saw over the weekend. Sunday being a beautiful day, but frost is top of mind for some, not for us here in Waterloo region in particular. If you are more so at or going to the St. Catharines area, Niagara region, Grimsby, frost advisory as we get into the overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. So of course temperatures potentially falling to near that freezing mark, and this is when frost potentially could damage crops in these frost-prone areas, so still growing season for some people here. And this is when we definitely, of course, want to cover up those plants. I know we're probably sounding like a bit of a broken record, but if you do have some planters or plants that could be sensitive to frost, we want to just keep those in mind as well. If you can't bring them inside, maybe cover them with a cotton sheet or so. So getting into the overnight or evening hours rather, mainly clear. We could see a few clouds as we get into tonight and into your day for Tuesday. Pop-up shower possible for some in the GTA tomorrow, but very briefly, if so. And then even getting into your Tuesday night, conditions looking pretty good. We could see a little bit more of that cloud cover start to build up, but it's more so mid to the back half of the work week. That's potentially when we could see a little bit more cloud cover start to build in and a little bit of wet weather potentially. So temperature-wise, 8 degrees right now for us here in Kitchener at Waterloo. Our expected daytime high was 10. We have not hit that at this point, so we're going to see how things play out over the next hour or so, and if we are going to be hitting that daytime high or not. 9 if you're in Toronto, Hamilton, 13 in Sarnia, 11 in Ridgetown, so slightly warmer if you're a little bit further southwest. Overnight, 2 degrees, partly cloudy conditions like we saw there on our future cast, and getting into tomorrow, sun and cloud expected as we hit hopefully a daytime high of 11 degrees. That UV index sitting at a 3, so moderate level, which is what we've been seeing over the last week or two. So in terms of daytime highs and lows, we are sitting pretty seasonal for this time of year. Record high 25 degrees that was set back on this day in 1920, and it was just minus 8.3 on this day in 1976. That sunrise creeping a little bit closer to 8 in the morning, and that sun now going down 6:20 p.m. Okay, so over the next several days, we'll get to enjoy, like we said, a little bit of that sunshine, soaking in some vitamin D, especially for your Wednesday with an expected high of 12 degrees. Getting into the overnight lows, we are going to be sitting at more seasonal conditions. And again, potentially for some, depending on where you are, we could see a little bit of frost if that does dip down past that 0 mark. And then Thursday, that's when we potentially could see a little bit of wet weather beginning again.
And crazy to think that Friday is Halloween.
It is.
It's this week.
And I was going to say Halloween on a Friday.
Yes.
So the kids get to stay out a little bit extra late, maybe have more candy.
Yeah, the trick-or-treating might go a little bit later. We're getting into the spooky spirit here as well by checking out some local Halloween houses.
And we've had so many great submissions over the last couple of weeks, and we're working to build out our interactive map online, ctvnewskitchener.ca, which you can check out. So we're going to show just a few that we have received. So starting with this display, I know on Clark Avenue in Kitchener, Cheryl decorates for every occasion inside and out, I am told, and loves the joy it brings to those who pop by. And I just love the floodlights, the colors. You've got a graveyard, you've got skeletons, a little bit of something pretty spooky.
The effort that goes into this, it's absolutely incredible.
So
okay,
good.
The next one is from Candace. She sent us this photo of their house on Queenston Drive in Kitchener. Impressive graveyard, complete with ghosts and skeletons as well. Again, the effort. It's just incredible stuff.
I want to know how long it takes to actually set up these displays and then tearing them down. Finally, a spooky setup at this property on Oxford Street in Kitchener. We've got a couple witches brewing, some eyes watching you from the yard as well. I just love the creativity that goes into all of these Halloween displays.
And of course, you can send us a photo of your home all decked out ahead of Halloween. CKCO weather at bellmedia.ca. We'll add them to that Halloween map that Alex was talking about. You can check it out now, ctvnewskitchener.ca. That's not the only talk of the week. Of course, the Toronto Blue Jays' quest for a World Series championship goes to Dodger Stadium tonight.
We're trying to approach this as, you know, 7, if it gets to that point, 7 one-game series. So at this point, you know, it's going to be all hands on deck.
The Jays were limited to only 1 run in Game 2 on Saturday. Bo Bichette back in the lineup tonight playing second base. The Jays have won 3 of 5 on the road during the playoffs.
I can't wait till we win a World Series. Life is great. Let's go Jays.
Loving the energies of the Jays. Watch parties also being held across the country for the 8 o'clock start tonight. Locally, Game 3 will be streaming on the big screen in Cambridge's Gaslight District and on the outdoor screen at Bobby O'Brien's in Kitchener. Game 4 tomorrow will be played on the big screen in the square in Uptown Waterloo.
So many chances to get out and watch the game with Jays fans across the region.
Lots of options.
And the World Series has many people feeling happy, but for a Guelph music teacher, the experience has been like no other. Centennial Collegiate's Eric Frode stepped on to the diamond at the Rogers Centre Friday as part of the pre-show performance with Pharrell Williams and gospel group Voices of Fire. Frodes, a former U.S. Marine with more than 30 years of drumming experience, used his skills to help guide part of the show's visual presentation and marching performance. He says the experience was eye-opening and something he'll bring back to tell his students about.
Every stadium performance I've done before, those people were there to silently listen to you, whereas this was like an energy to get everybody excited. As far as what am I taking home, I still kind of have to analyze that, look at all of the, rethink all the things I saw, rethink all the things that went on around me, and think about, okay, how can I apply that to my music program and my drum line.
Frode says it's an experience he will never forget and one that hit all the right notes. And I'm sure just being there with that atmosphere must have been such an incredible experience.
Yeah, that is something he'll never forget. Nope. So cool. Okay, still ahead on CTV News at 5, Lululemon breaks into sports merchandising. The retailer enters the big leagues, the collab on a new apparel collection. We'll have the details coming up.
And here's what you need to know. Head over to the Gaslight District tomorrow in Cambridge for the Trick or Treat Trail. This is from 5:30 to 7:30, so you can bring your little ghosts and goblins for a night of Halloween fun. And yes, as we noted a bit before, the Jays will also be playing on the big screen there. Stay with us.
Here's the final 5 stories we're keeping an eye on today. The Ford government says it will be investing $1.1 billion over 3 years to expand home care services.
Our government's investments will help shape the future of home care in Ontario. allowing even more people to receive convenient, high-quality care in the comfort of their own homes, surrounded by their loved ones.
The province says the funding will connect patients who no longer need to remain in hospital to nurses, physiotherapists, and other healthcare professionals. It also says the investment will ease the strain on hospitals and make sure Ontario's health system can support an aging population. Canada is poised to lose its status as a measles-free country as an outbreak that began in New Brunswick hits the one-year mark. Canada eliminated measles in 1998 and maintained that status for more than 25 years, meaning there was no ongoing community transmission and any new cases were travel-related. But since October 27th last year, the virus has spread from New Brunswick to more than 5,000 people in Canada, including 2 infants in Ontario and Alberta who died. Experts blame declining vaccination rates stemming from vaccine hesitancy, as well as the disruption of routine immunizations during the pandemic. Canadians will soon have to be photographed when entering and exiting the U.S., according to new rules from the Department of Homeland Security. The new condition will apply to travelers no matter how they enter and exit the U.S., whether it's by land, air, or through a port. The move is part of amendments to how Homeland Security collects biometric data introduced several years ago. No firm word yet on when this will be rolled out. Lululemon is joining forces with the NFL to launch a clothing collection featuring the logos of all 32 NFL teams. It'll mark the first time the retailer has offered officially licensed products for the NFL or any of its franchisees. The collection will include both men's and women's apparel and accessories with NFL team symbols. Lulu is long known for its roots in yoga wear. It's been making a notable push into sports over the last few years. The retailer struck a partnership with the NHL last year to release team-branded items. The football collection is set to launch tomorrow. And finally for us, ghosts and ghouls spooked their way to the annual Fright Fest in Barrie. The free event is in its 5th year and took place at Lampman Lane Park and Community Centre. From a haunted house to crafts and the coveted costume contests, thousands attended the city's annual Halloween celebration over the weekend. The event also included an escape room, vendor market, and of course, tasty treats. And as you can see, some spooky characters set up there as well to scare everyone who came out. Plenty of events like that going on this week here locally as well. We'll leave it there. We'll be back at the top of the hour with your next local news. For now, we'll send it over to CTV National. Have a great night, everyone.